Hello, everybody, and we just came up with this. What Joe did. Welcome to the Dimwits. We're gonna try. We're gonna try that one out first to see what you guys think. But it's I am Billy Powell, and that is Joe Carney.
Hello.
Joe has his own program called Indy's Local Flavor. I have my own show also called the Keeping the Nostalgia Alive. You can find that at Keeping the Nostalgia Alive. That's all one word. .podbean.com. You can also go to YouTube and search the Keeping the Nostalgia Live show. We have a variety of programs on there and also on the Keeping the Nostalgia Live podcast. And Joe and I have been doing these for a little while. Joe's a 1989 graduate of Anderson High School in
Yes.
Anderson, Indiana. And
Yes.
I'm a Broad Ripple guy. Of course, everybody knows I'm a big homer on the Broad Ripple guy.
Yep.
So what's going on, Joe? Please, and tell people where they can type in and find your Indies local flavor.
I started out on Anchor podcasts. I'm also have a huge growing market on iTunes, and then I'm on Spotify and iHeartRadio.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Today's going to be a little tricky. I know we're kind of go back and forth and stuff like that on overrated and underrated professional basketball players. Am I correct?
Yes. Yes, that's correct.
We're going to toss some of the ABA in there and the NBA, and I'm pretty sure we'll probably get some comments in the comment section. At least I know I'm preparing for them.
I have a question for you. Did you ever play organized basketball? I mean, that you
Well,
pay that you paid for or whatever.
well, I played basketball at Tab in fourth grade, Tabernacle Church in 34th, I think 34th and Meridian. I may be off on the directions, but a lot of people played Tabernacle basketball who played high school basketball and, of course, went on to college and professional. George Hill's one that played
Oh, okay.
at Tab. My first game, we got beat 20-2, but I scored the first bucket of the 2 points, and I was really proud of that.
I,
My dad wasn't very proud of that. He's like, just calm down about your 2 points you scored. You lost by another 18 points. I'm like, oh man, you're busting my bubble. And now Broderpool is that's as close to being I mean, Coach Bill Smith and Broadpool Rockets were a great program, and I spent 4 straight years with them at Broderpool High School. You know, uh, so that's as close as organized or professional ball or college ball, in my opinion, just on how the program was ran. Why? Why do you ask?
I was just wondering because I mean, a lot of quote unquote sports writers have never played the game. I
Yeah,
mean, like at all.
yeah.
So yeah, I played. I played in the church leagues when I was 12. We had a whole big age range in Anderson, and we won the eighth grade league, which was fun.
Yeah. The Jordan YMCA, which is about 4 or 5 miles north of Broderpool, golly, I'm telling you, you could go there and, you had to win your games to continue to stay on the court, but you'd go there, and I promise you, on one squad was Henry Lee Summer,
Right?
Roy Tolbert, Ray Tolbert,
Oh wow, yeah,
Vern Fleming, Jerry Fleming. It was high quality basketball.
yeah,
Very, very high quality basketball, and I loved it. Vicky Hall, who's the was 1988's Indiana Miss Basketball, and now she's the head coach of the Indiana State University Women's Sycamores. Played there also. A funny story about that. So I said she won the Indiana Miss Basketball, and
yeah,
I have man boobs. That's
yeah.
the one.
I'm working on it too.
I've, I've had them all my life, even with working out, doing push-ups, doing everything. I've always had them.
Yeah,
But I would always, she was always be picked on one squad and my squad, and I knew automatically I was going to be skins.
yeah, of course.
And I was like, man, I mean, gosh, I mean, come on, man. But that was at the Jordan YMCA, which the Jordan YMCA is still, of course, open and fabulous. But that was neat playing basketball up there. So
Oh, great memories.
okay, so what do you want to start off with there, Joe?
Well, I think you want to end on a high note, so you want to end on overrated. So I'll start with underrated.
Oh, you want to start with underrated? Okay, you go ahead.
My bonus pick at number 11 is Robert Ory, Big Shot Bob.
Interesting. Very underrated in my opinion is Mel Daniels.
Oh
Play,
yeah,
played with the Indiana Pacers, believe it or not, was also the assistant coach with Larry Bird at Indiana State University when they went to the final game of the NCAA championships. But just a talented, multi-talented basketball player that never gets a lot of the, and may he rest in peace, never gets a lot
Right.
of the admiration and glory that he probably deserves.
He's on my list, and he caught it. He rebounded everything in his zip code in the
Oh my
ABA.
gosh, it's like he had super glue on his fingers.
Right. Number 10 for me. Um, he went on and did his own thing in Houston, but Michael wouldn't be Michael without Scottie Pippen.
Oh, and you think he's underrated?
Yeah,
Interesting. Interesting. I have George McGinnis.
without a doubt.
Play. I mean, he's not. He just. I don't know. I love the ABA. Don't get me wrong. I love the ABA. But
Right.
and he did so many great things for the city of Indianapolis. Of course, undefeated in high school, played at IU, got to get out and go and get in the draft early because of a financial hardship. Man, they may. Do you realize that George McGinnis would have been there when Bobby Knight first took over?
Right. Yes. And he bent the rim at IU.
Yeah.
He dunked
So
it so hard he bent the rim.
yeah, and I mean, him spending time, he just doesn't give the credit he deserves because I think he played some of his prime years in the ABA, which he has rings from the ABA.
Yeah,
So
three of them.
nothing against that. But I think he's very, very underrated, and also a great football player at the same.
I had the chance to meet him. They were doing signings around the LeBron Pacers playoff era for the conference championship. I met him in Boozy, and he was super nice. And I said, George, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame someday. What was it like to play with Dr. J? And he said he was a class guy all the way. So really nice guy, but his hands are huge, but they're so, you could tell he was in pain because he would sign really slow. But yeah, without a doubt, Big Mac is awesome. I love Big Mac.
And from everything I've heard, I mean, I've had him on a program, just a super duper guy. So,
Yeah.
So, okay, what you got next there, buddy?
He was on a ESPN show I was watching recently. I totally forgot about him, but the Mr. Moneyman for the Houston Rockets, who would take on anybody, the Bulldog, Calvin Murphy.
Man, that's a good pick, man. And what a free throw percentage.
Yeah.
And what a wardrobe. I mean, you don't get to see him like I get to see him. I mean, I go to the Rockets games, and that fool will walk up by you like he was brothers with Porter Wagner. You know what I'm saying? With the sewn on bling and everything else, and
Yeah.
super nice guy. Chat about anything. Chat about basketball anytime, any place. But I agree with it. And a lot of people, Niagara guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I have on my list next is Billy Knight.
That he's the reason why I'm a Pacers guy. I met him at the Mounds Mall in Anderson when I was a young lad, and he was super cool. Gave me an 8x10 black and white picture, which I still have. And he's the reason why I'm a Pacers guy. I love Billy Knight.
I love Billy Knight. One of the first basketball cards I collected was a Topps card that had the little emblem on it. It was round emblem. He was an all-star because you love collecting those cards that had the all-star emblem on it.
Right.
And the most down-to-earth guy you've ever met. I met him at the U.S. Open Clay Court Championships in 1985. He's a great tennis player.
Yes.
And he was at the U.S. Open Clay Courts there at the, what do they call that, the RCA Event Center, or can't remember what that was called.
Center. Yep.
But super down to earth guy. So
Right.
not cocky, very very humble. You don't be very people who of course went to Pitt and from Pennsylvania originally. But
Yeah.
I mean, just I mean, you can look at his averages per year. Just just underrated. So,
Well, he was the scoring threat pretty much in the early 80s when the Pacers struggled.
and quiet.
Yeah.
And quiet. But boom, all of a sudden he just had 10 points in the quarter. You know what I'm saying? So seriously,
Yeah.
No, and I think he played with the Pacers when they were with the ABA. One of the few that played with him with the ABA and NBA.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Next, I have Mel Daniels. What he did with the Pacers. Didn't he come from the Kentucky Cougars?
I know he played for the Minnesota team for a little
Okay.
while.
All right. The Showboats, right?
Was it the Muskies or I can't remember the Minnesota name. I
Okay.
can't.
But he came over from
Totally.
them and totally made the difference.
Yeah.
Totally. Like we said, rebound everything in his zip code, and that's the reason why the Pacers won the 3 ABA titles, because they were stacked.
Yeah. Well, in mine, I have Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
He's got a mouth on him. He's very opinionated, but I think he was underrated as a basketball player. And then he found his niche of how he scored his points. And it's unfortunate that he didn't get a ring.
Very much so.
But Charles Barkley is very underrated.
He didn't make the 1984 Olympic team.
Well, but he's not mad about it.
No,
I mean, he didn't have his weight. He didn't have his weight under, contained.
Right.
And he knew that. And, hell, man, that team though.
Oh yeah. That was Michael Jordan. That's when Michael Jordan really
they
could
have took one of those players off and inserted me, and they still would have won the gold medal. I'm being serious, man.
Man boobs and all.
Yes, I wouldn't have had to go skins. It's all shirts, man.
All right.
Yeah, man. Me and Joe Klein at the end of the bench. That wasn't very nice, was it?
Joe Klein.
That wasn't very nice. That wasn't very nice. Was it Joe? It was Joe Klein, was it? Or Cognac?
Cognac, I think.
Okay, sorry.
But apples and oranges.
Yep.
This guy could be higher, but I really like my other picks as well. The Iceman, George Gervin.
Oh, very nice, very nice, very nice. I don't like players who showboat. I don't like some players that have attitude. You've got to get me on your side or get me on your team if you have an attitude or showboat. But is another Pacer and Nick, Mark Jackson.
Oh yeah,
and
I love Mark.
Underrated as a player, and also underrated as a coach.
Without a doubt.
And I
don't know why he's not coaching now.
I think he made some comments, and I think people didn't like it, and I think he's been kind of semi-blackballed. I know that it's probably not a term, but...
I agree with you. I mean, when he was doing play-by-play, I agree.
Yeah, so, very underrated. But Mark Jackson, great pacer.
This guy was money. Earl the Pearl Monroe.
Oh, man, out of Syracuse.
Yeah.
Wow, very nice. Love the nickname. We could do a top 10. We can do a top 10 on nicknames.
Right. Sure.
That would actually be fun. Mine is Bob Nedelicki.
I don't know enough about him. I know about that much about him.
Yeah, Bob only played a couple of years in high school, and then went on to Drake to be an All-American, and then that big 6'7", 6'8" frame.
Right.
And with the Pacers, and he was quiet, but he was also known as the Joe Namath of the ABA.
I've heard that.
He'd come in wearing fur coats. He had an Ancelot, which is like a small tiger or mountain lion. He had Netto's in the Meadows, which is up in the Nora area. He had his own club. But, but Joe Namath, he was the Joe Namath of professional basketball. But he was kind of, in my opinion, the glue of the Pacers at times, and just very underrated. He's also one of the few people that, I may get this wrong, but let me explain it, is that the Pacers were playing the Spurs, and the Spurs had Bob Nedelicki on there. For some reason, at the end of the game, their game was called and was going to be replayed. But by the time that the last 2 minutes was replayed, Bob had been traded back to the Pacers. So he's one of the few people in professional basketball history that scored points for both teams.
That's interesting.
Yeah. All right, who you got there? What we at? Number 4?
I'm in number 5 for mine. I have a
okay, go ahead.
I didn't know this. But I was watching ESPN Plus, and they talked about the 1968 Olympic basketball team, and that was kind of controversial. Lou Alcindor sat out, but uh, Spencer Hayward went to town and dunked an Olympic game, which I hadn't seen. And Spencer Haywood, he was amazing.
I agree with you. We've got a story about Spencer Haywood, but I'm gonna keep that hidden for now. Maybe we'll pull that out on another
Okay.
show. But um, I mean, he did get fired from the Lakers for falling asleep during practice.
I didn't know that.
So we'll leave that there.
Okay, we'll table
If
that.
people want to know, put it in the comment section, and I'll let you know. It's true. It's out there. You can look it up. So my number five is the horse, Dan Issel. I mean,
Oh yeah,
I
sure, without a
mean,
doubt. Yeah.
and you know what's funny is he has those actually has a thing that goes up there to look like he has a full mouth of teeth. No, I'm being serious
Oh
because
yeah,
in all
he
your
lost
pictures,
teeth,
well,
right?
his dentist told him. He said, "Are you going to be playing basketball for the rest of your life?" When this happened, either in college or in high school, and he said yes. He said, "Well, there's no need to permanently fix them. Just do what you need to do and play the game that you need to play, and we'll have these things that you can put up in there and go out and do stuff, go out to eat or go out to special occasions, and you'll have something to put up in there." So I thought that was an interesting story, but what a baller, what a beast.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Even if he
Kentucky,
did, even if he was a Kentucky Wildcat.
and he was a Kentucky Colonel, so
Yeah. Yes.
love that team.
Yeah.
Mine is another Kentucky Colonel, Mister Kentucky Colonel, Artis Gilmore.
What's very interesting is mine is right there. My next pick is the same guy. Same guy. So we're both on the level there with being underrated. Artis Gilmore, 7'2" without the fro, 7'6" with the fro.
Right, sure.
One of the few guys that I wrote to when he played for the San Antonio Spurs, and actually wrote me back and sent me an autograph.
I believe it. He's cool people. I
Yeah,
believe that.
yeah, very neat. The A Train.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Yeah. Who you got there next, man?
Um,
What number are you on, by the way?
I'm on number 3.
Okay.
Um, Mister Milwaukee Buck, Sidney Moncrief.
Oh man.
He could blow by people, and they wouldn't even know it.
Yes. Yes. Artist was my next one, so we can go ahead and
Hmm.
go to your next one then.
Okay, he's the reason why Dr. J won a ring. Moses Malone.
And is that your number two?
Yes.
Okay. Dr. J, in my opinion, is very underrated.
Yeah.
What Dr. J kept the NBA in business so that Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird could do what the NBA comes to be today.
I agree with you 1,000%.
Without Dr. J, there may not have been an NBA for Larry Bird and Michael Jordan to hone and perfect.
I agree 1,000%.
Just my percent. And he gets his due, but he's still underrated. He's just not there up on the list that people talk about.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And very nice guy. I've met him also. He gave me a lesson in manners, but we will also shelve that for another show. I was a kid, man. It's Dr. J right in front of me. And, hey,
Yeah.
Dr. J, will you give me your autograph? Look, son, I'm talking to someone right now. What we're going to learn today is some manners. You see, I'm talking to this gentleman. When I get done talking with this gentleman, I will give you my autograph. Just because of my excitement, man. I was a high school
Right.
student, so.
Do you
Okay.
know his nickname?
What?
The
What is?
Claw.
Oh, that makes sense. Now, we all, all through high school, we wore Docs. That's what,
Yeah.
Dr. J, leather tennis shoes,
Right.
we had to
The
graduate.
Converse.
Yeah,
Right.
you had to graduate from those canvas ones to the leather Docs, man. If you ever wore those canvas ones for a while, you were a nerd, man. They called them buddies. You remember buddies?
No.
Well, buddies, they make your feet feel fine. Buddies, they cost $1.99. Buddies, they
No.
make your feet feel great. Buddies, they cost $1.98. You've never heard of Buddies? Man,
No.
you don't want to walk into school in the late 70s, early 80s with Buddies on, man.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too glamorous.
And then my buddy Paul, no pun intended with Buddies,
Dun dun.
my buddy Paul had the Nikes that first came out with
The Air Force Ones.
No, with rubber toe and canvas. So he wore Buddies too. Those were considered Buddies too before, you know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, who you got as number one, man?
He got blackballed. He played on concrete courts. That's what shortened his career. However, he's in the Hall of Fame. He is Raja Brown.
Oh, nice. Very good. Very good. And I totally agree with that. There's a great documentary on him too, also.
Yes.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Well, believe it or not, my most underrated player is Wilt Chamberlain.
Okay, I can see the argument.
They're all talking about Michael Jordan. They're all talking about LeBron. They're all talking about Larry Bird, and I'm a Larry Bird homer, as you can see
I know.
Behind my right shoulder.
Yes.
But they had to change the game because of Wilt.
They talked about that on ESPN. There was a special on that about that. I didn't know that Russell and Wilt lived together for a while at Chamberlain's club in New York.
You know, yeah, and it's just, you know, he's the GOAT in my opinion, because if they would have just think the rules that were against him, but what he did.
And he played for the Globetrotters for a while. Can you imagine if
a professional volleyball player?
Yeah.
Was awful in Conan and the Destroyer, I think. But other than that,
he was.
Yeah, yeah. But when you're 7 foot tall, you can do basically anything you want to do, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
What's your favorite franchise?
Well, man, it's kind of the Boston Celtics.
No way, you're kidding.
No, the Boston Celtics is. now you got to put it in. I mean, but I have. It shouldn't be, because for years there were 9 teams in the league, 10 teams in the league.
Right.
I mean, of course, when you get a big man like Russell, you're going to be dominant.
Yeah.
You know, you're just going to be dominant, and you know, they've had some breaks fall here and there. They've had some droughts, but I am a Boston Celtics fan, but they are overrated.
Yeah.
So yours? Course.
My favorite franchise, I love Red Auerbach Celtics. What Phil Jackson did with the Bulls and the Lakers was very unique, but if you take player per player analysis and what he was able to do with those guys, is Greg Popovich and the Spurs. Sorry, I just gave away my coach. The Spurs.
You're fine with that. I am not a fan of the Spurs. As a matter of fact, we're getting ready to roll down this list of overrated, and most of them are from the Spurs. So just my opinion. So you know, but you know what though? Red Auerbach hated competition and hated the ABA. Just despised the ABA.
Oh yeah, yes.
So
yeah.
I mean, he
thought it was inferior basketball,
but it wasn't.
I know.
The ABA whooped the NBA's ass.
I know.
In several different exhibition games. And of course, he just hated it. So,
right.
I mean, but I will say this, is that the ABA paved the path for what the NBA is today. So without the ABA, the NBA is probably gone and defunct.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do overrated. Boy, this is going to be fun. This is where I make some people angry.
My bonus pick is Swen Nader.
Oh, man. Who's he?
Right.
What the hell, man? Oh, he's big. Oh, yeah. He was a big dude, though.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. He's a tall guy.
Well, my number 10, I don't have a bonus pick, so I'm going to go ahead and start with my number 10.
Okay.
Manu Ginobili.
Okay.
Overrated. Now, if we're rating floppers, him and Vladi Divac are like twins, but
Okay.
just overrated. And
Okay.
maybe a reason why he's overrated is because I just don't like him.
That's fine.
You know what's interesting is once a team that you kind of liked and followed wins a championship, you're like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, cool, that's great, it's great. Okay, I was on the bandwagon
Yeah.
when they sucked. They've won it,
Right.
but then they continue to win again and again and again, and I kind of like to root for the underdog. So that may be a little
Right.
bit of the reason why I put Flopper. I mean, Manu at number 10.
Okay. My number 10 is Mark Price.
Oh, wow. Okay. I see that.
Yep.
See that.
Yep.
Interesting. Interesting. Uh, we might as well go with number 9, Tony Parker.
Oh, come on, man.
Sorry, man. Ha ha. See, you pulled the French out of me. Ha ha. Tony Parker, number 9. Ha ha.
You know how many people he would light up?
We.
He would light up a lot of people right now.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, he would.
So,
Okay.
mine is Gilbert Arenas, number 0.
Ooh, man. Overrated.
Yes.
Overrated. Man, we might as well stick together and someone who played, Mitch Richmond.
He was okay. He was okay.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I there's so many Pacers.
Ooh.
There's so many Pacers
Ooh.
that deserve to be on here, but I played nice and went with Monte Ellis.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Jason Kidd.
Okay.
Magic Johnson Jr.
Not exactly.
I mean, just could dish the ball. That's
Yeah.
not what it's about. It's a team sport. You need to win. You need to win a championship and get a championship there. I think maybe if he had a championship, I'd give him a little bit more respect.
Sure.
But I'm just not a fan. It's a little bit too much fashion compared to function.
I understand.
Yeah.
Antoine Walker.
Oh, yep. Went to Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
Yep. David Robinson, the Admiral.
You're out of your mind.
No, I'm not.
You're out of your mind.
And you know who should have been on my list of underrated and took him to school and did everything except take his pants down and whip his ass was Hakeem Olajuwon.
Well, that's Hakeem Olajuwon, but David Robertson's not overrated.
Yeah, yes.
I have to disagree.
Okay.
I respectfully disagree.
Once again, though, that's fine. But once again, let's go back to it. It may be a Spur thing.
Okay.
So it may be a Spur thing. Now, maybe if he ended up with the Pacers, he wouldn't be, in my opinion, overrated. So
because he didn't play for 2 years. He was in the Navy.
Well, we want you. We want you. We want you as a new recruit in the Navy. We can do top 5 YMCA songs. Wait a minute.
No, please.
Village
No.
people. Okay, what you got next?
The Star. He had his own shoe line, Stephon Marbury.
Oh, yeah. Overrated. I can see that.
Yep.
A lot of people never put their money where their mouth was.
Correct.
And a lot of, it's like I said on our previous show that we were talking about Carl Reiner and stuff like that, is that a lot of these athletes, movie stars, politicians, whoever you want to toss into this bowl, get that money, get that fame,
right.
And all of a sudden it's like, I'll go on play, but Rudy Tomjanovich, which is on my list of underrated basketball coaches, never underestimate the heart of a champion. And I think sometimes when you have too much money or too many physical or material things, it takes away from your drive to be the best. There's something to say about Michael Jordan. He may not be my favorite basketball player of all time, but 6 rings, worked hard at becoming of the best there was.
And if his father wouldn't have been killed, he would have had more than that.
Yeah, but once again, though, he got that money, millions, billions, and still wanted to win. And a lot of these players today don't want to do that.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, who you got?
Right. Out of UCLA, Kevin Love.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm going to toss you a pacer. The
Okay.
rifleman, Chuck Person. Overrated.
I'm not going to get upset.
Now, and you know why else he's over? He's also slightly not all there because he decided to pick a competition with Larry Bird. And you know what
Uh,
happens there.
okay, I'm listening.
Now, I'm just not a Chuck Persons fan because, we had so many high regards and he was going to come in and like we've said in previous show, the Pacers have just disappointed me year after year after year.
Right.
The state of Indiana, 49 other states, it's just the game of basketball, but it's Indiana, it's basketball, it's all about basketball, and we don't have a damn championship to show for it. We have 3 ABA World Championship banners hanging up wherever they play now, and it's just a disappointment. Disappointment.
Yeah, they never should have broke up the 2000 team.
Yeah, just a disappointment. Just big disappointment.
Right.
Now, I will say that the Lakers getting help from the refs so that Portland could beat them in the Lakers could beat Portland and end up playing the Pacers. If we would have played the Portland Trailblazers in that 2000 championship, we would have had a banner. But I'm just just every year that's strung along. I mean, we had to wait. What we had to wait? 27 years or 23 years
Yeah.
for the Colts to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that I'm never going to see the Indiana Pacers win an NBA championship.
Yeah, it's well, right now they got the Bucks. They're not going to get around the Bucks.
That's true. It's true.
So
But still, it's disappointing. It's just my opinion. Okay, who you got next?
I agree. John Paxson.
Ooh, yes. I have Jerry West.
Huh? What?
Overrated,
Did I
man.
hear you correctly?
How many championships did the Lakers win with Wilt, Jerry West? You know what I'm saying? It's just overrated.
I'm listening for the argument.
I mean, the only reason why he's the logo. He gets so much, kudos because he's the logo of the league. I mean, what did he do?
Yeah, okay. I mean, Red Auerbach would turn the garden up to 110 degrees, so, pull the fire alarm at 3 a.m. So, yeah.
I just don't. It's probably because I'm not a Laker fan. And, it's interesting what we're raised up.
Okay.
We're raised up in our environment of who we see in the paper more, and
Right.
Larry Bird's from Indiana State. Larry Bird's from your state of Indiana. All of a sudden the Celtics are playing the Lakers. Of course, you want the Celtics to win because Larry Bird is from Indiana.
Okay.
So it's you go back to in the history of the game. I just think he's overrated. Just my opinion.
Okay. I respectfly disagree.
That is perfectly fine. It's
Your
perfectly
Honor.
fine. That's perfectly fine.
My number 3 was a Laker, Dwight Howard.
Ooh, I agree with that, and he is on my list. Yes, he is on my list. Yes.
Yay!
Yes. Once again, one of those athletes who made millions and millions of dollars, put his little Superman cape on and did a dunk, and then it's all about how much money do I have, how good can I look, how many houses can I buy, how many cars can I buy without focusing on winning a championship or being a winner. I'm not saying he's a loser, but I'm just saying that he just didn't have a heart of a champion, as Rudy T would say.
Okay.
Yeah. So are you number 2 now? We got number 2?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
who you got for number 2?
My buddy Craig says this person isn't overrated; they're overhyped, which I don't know the difference. So maybe I need to go to dictionary.com. Lorenzo Ball.
Oh, yes. And I'm going to get smacked around here, but LeBron James could fall under that category of overhyped. When you go and buy a running shoe, you don't buy a running shoe for how good it looks. You buy a running shoe on the function of the shoe and how it's going to treat you when you run.
Correct.
It's all fashion. It's all, theatrics. And I don't, I'm not on here telling you my political beliefs or views.
Right.
Uh, Um, um, you're not on here telling me your political beliefs and views, but I play basketball.
Right.
I mean, I want to like you. I want to
Right.
enjoy your success, but play the game of basketball, the game that I love.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
just, it's not it. And once again, he's delved into, produce. I will say this though about LeBron James. There was a game show called The Wall.
Haven't seen it.
Oh man, it's where these balls drop down and they go into these slots, and you can win up to millions of dollars. But
That's Price is Right.
it's kind of it is. Oh man, he has infringed upon Plinko.
Right.
I loved Plinko though too.
Me too.
Wow. I've only seen one person get busted in the head when they spun that big wheel. But there are people you're like, oh my god, you almost got the crap knocked out of you. And then there's people who go on that game and then walk around kind of like not knowing where they're supposed to go stand underneath when they do the showcase showdown.
Right. It's
but not. I mean, LeBron's a great. LeBron has probably carried the NBA on his back.
yes.
But I want to see more functionality. I just want to see more. And people are going to dislike that. I'm just saying he's overrated. I'm not saying anything else about him.
I think LeBron's a great player, but the way he does the crybaby stuff with refs drives me bananas.
Yeah. And he is kind of a flopper.
Yes.
I mean, slow mo does nothing for the new guys in the NBA.
Right.
Back in the day when you couldn't put pause or anything else like that or show slow mo, you could get away with that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
just play the game. Quit whining. You're a fantastic ball player. You're probably one of the best who's ever suited up. But quit all these other things that are around it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, are we getting ready to roll out number one?
Numero uno is he was fantastic in college. Won a title in college. Carmelo Anthony.
Man, he should have. Yes, I agree with that. And, it's like the movie Airplane. When the kid finally got him to say that he was really Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Lou Alcindor,
Yes.
he got upset and he said, you dragged Walton up and down the court all night.
Mm-hmm.
Who did you say you were number one with?
Carmelo Anthony.
But Carmelo, and you can be a great athlete and look
Right.
like you're not trying,
Mm-hmm.
but it looks like he's not trying. It looks like he doesn't care, or it's maybe his game is so smooth that it just looks that way. But he's another one that I don't think has the heart of a champion.
It seems to me like sometimes he mails it in.
Yeah. Sitting on the end of the bench, talking to other players, it's a whole different show on talking about teamwork and teammates and being a part of a team. But, well, I will tell you this: do you have a overrated coach?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
After the big man from Georgetown, New York Knicks, their ownership is garbage.
What's interesting though is with the New York Knicks, they had a great coach in Mike Woodson. Of course, he was a Broadwell High School alumni, and of course went to Indiana University. But he'd been taken to the playoffs, and all of a sudden, it's just not good enough. Now look at him. You mean you got the storied Madison Square Garden, and it is. I mean, the best thing to come out of that garden that I've seen in the past couple of years has been watching St. John's play.
Yeah, which is in the college games, and that's it.
Now, once again, this goes back to a Spurs thing, and you would think that I would just worship the ground this way I walks on because he's originally from Indiana before going to Air Force and playing basketball. He's Popovich, most overrated coach. You have Tony Parker, you have Manu Ginobili, you have David Robinson, you have Tim Duncan. Yeah, you know,
But who
it's
found those guys? They were nobodies till he found them.
and he did create a team with them.
Right.
You can change my opinion. I don't have a problem with that. But once again though too, they were in a portion. They won their first championship under that strike shortened season. I think in '99 or 2000. Well, '99 I think it was.
Yeah.
And you know, this could be also too because the Pacers were playing so well at that point in time, and you wanted the Pacers to be in the finals. You wanted the Pacers to win. There's a lot of jealousy involved in a lot of these picks that we're doing. But it's like Phil Jackson. I may have won a couple NBA championships with Michael Jordan, just sitting on the end of the bench, drawing out, playing tic tac toe with the assistant coach. I mean, you know, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. And I'm making it too simple. But who do you have as underrated? In the coaching.
The coach?
Yeah,
Yeah, Popovich.
Popovich. I have Rudy T.
Great coach. You
Rudy
know, you
T.
can't go wrong with him.
It's interesting. He's finally going into the Hall of Fame later on this year. But played years in the NBA as a player, and then
Yeah.
stuck to it coaching, and and a player's coach.
Who was the guy that hit him?
Oh man, Kermit Washington.
Yeah, I read the book,
Yeah,
The Punch.
yeah,
He said he thought the scoreboard fell on him.
yeah. But Rudy T's has forgave him.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and Rudy T's just a great guy, getting everything that he deserves. Just a really good guy, and also a doppelganger of Rudy T is Brian Ferry from Roxy Music.
Right.
You got when you get off the call, you got to look it up and go, damn, Billy, you're
Yeah,
right.
I believe
Love
it.
is the drug that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
But what a guy! I think he played 15 years in the league and then and coached.
Mhm.
The great story about Rudy T when he was an assistant coach for the Rockets was, the position became available, and Carol Dawson was assistant coach also with Rudy T on the Rockets, and Rudy T said, "Carol, they're offering me the job, but I just don't know. I just don't want to take it." And Carol said, "Rudy, you're going to take that job. I have high blood pressure, and I need my prescriptions, and I need to go to the doctor, and they're going to fire us. So, so take the job." And of course, the rest is history. Back to back NBA championships. Never underestimate the heart of a champion, and just a really good guy and a real role model to me for some things that are going on in my life or have happened in my life. So Rudy T is very underrated.
Yeah, Elijah Wan.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with Elijah Wan either.
Yes. Yeah. And once Olajuwon found out that he didn't win, and they presented the trophy to Robinson in San Antonio, Olajuwon deserved it. Olajuwon just took him to task. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so your number one was Carmelo Anthony. And
Yeah.
man, am I going to get some grief. But the most overrated professional basketball player was Reggie Miller.
Okay, what's your argument?
If Reggie Miller would have played for any other team besides the Indiana Pacers, I would have despised and hated him.
Mm-hmm.
And Reggie Miller, on a couple of the best years that we had the chance to win the NBA title,
Right.
he startled the Hornets' nest.
What do you mean?
Getting in Michael Jordan's face. We had that game.
Yeah. Yep.
That may have been
Okay.
the best opportunity to win the NBA title. I mean, just there were so many players on that Pacer team during his time there. I will say this: it was the better pick than picking Steve Alford in the first round of the draft that year. So we were at a WWF, that was the World Wrestling Federation
Right.
wrestling match, and Reggie was there the night that he got drafted, so I got to see him there at that. But and you know what? Too, his game wasn't pretty.
No.
It was ugly. I mean, it just but I just think he was the deterrent to winning an NBA title.
Okay, so I'll give you the defense argument. I'll give you that on him. And did he have a mouth on him? Yes. Did he engage the fans as a distraction? I'll give you that. However, explain the 8 seconds.
I can't explain that. I will say that's the most fantastic thing I have seen in sports since Danny Sullivan spun out in turn number 2 and straightened his car and went on to win the 1985 Indianapolis 500. And I sat there with jaw jocking. That's one of the few things I've ever seen in my life on TV where it went my way.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally went our way, didn't it? I mean,
oh, without a doubt.
And
there was a push off.
Oh yeah, there was.
But that's okay.
But I guess I'm just really soured on the Pacers, and I'm really disappointed that I can't have something in my office that says Indiana Pacers NBA World Champions.
I understand. I have a license plate that says Indiana Pacers ABA champions.
See, and and you try to. I've been rolling that argument out for years. People, especially down here in Houston. Well, how many banners do you have hanging up with your Pacers? I go, we have 3. You guys have 2. We win. And they're like, I said, what kind of banners are you asking about? I said, it was a basketball championships. I said, we have 3. And you Rockets have 2. Yeah. And they're like, no, we're talking about the NBA. But, and I joke and fun about that. But it's just disappointment that Reggie Miller's a great ball player. He's a great ambassador to the game. He's a little bit annoying when you watch his play-by-play or his color commentary on TV. Maybe a little bit too high-pitched, and maybe it's just disappointing that we're not sitting here talking about the world champion NBA Pacers in such and such a year, such and such a year.
Oh, I know I was going to talk about. I was doing some research for this list, and there's 2 sports websites that I refuse to acknowledge. And they both said Shaq and Kobe were overrated. And I'm like, you guys are out of your mind.
Yeah. Neither one of those on either one of our lists.
No.
Yeah. Great ball players. So, the dimwits. Hopefully someone else will come up with something else. Now, I will say that I look a lot better than last time because the AC is fixed.
Yay.
Although it was 102 and... It was 102, and they say the feels like is 112. So wouldn't you say it's 112?
Sounds like 112 to me.
What's up with this feels like? It's like wind chill, man. I mean, if it's 0, I know to put on my gloves, cap, and earmuffs.
Right. Do you know the story how the Spurs got their colors?
I think you told me, and this is a L.A. Raider, a Los Angeles Raider, or Oakland Raider tie-in?
Correct. Okay. The Dallas Chappelles folded, and the ownership of the Spurs were fans of the Oakland Raiders. So that's how that happened.
Maybe we need to do a football show.
I would love to do a football history show. Well, do you want to talk about? You want to talk about right now briefly about, did you hear about the Big Ten?
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's this whole thing, man. I mean, I really enjoy what we talk about is in the past and the greatness is in the past, but because it sure doesn't look like anything's happened for the future, man. That's just so disappointing, especially, you know what the first thing I actually thought of hearing about the Big Ten conference football?
What's that?
Was that, and I'm not making fun of Indiana University football. I'm a fan. Is that they won't get those 2 or 3 or 4 victories?
I'm being from the cream puffs.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not saying it's easy to win a college football game, but when you play Indiana State University, or when you play a Division I or Division II school or Division I school or someone down in Florida who just opened up a football program, you get because you get those 3 or 4 in, and you're like, okay, if we can just beat, good, Rutgers is having a big year, we can get that. You know what I'm saying? So you start thinking about bowls.
What do you think about Mahomes and $530 million?
That's crazy. That's just
crazy. My question is, and I'm okay with that. My question is, how much are the Chiefs worth?
Yeah, exactly. And what is going to happen, man, if they, granted, most stuff comes from TV, but I'm telling you, man, no fans in the stands is just going to be just crazy for a football year if this doesn't get, and I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I just saying it's a delayed reaction.
I don't either. I think it's going to be crickets in the stands,
Yeah.
which is tragic.
Yeah.
But man, they flushed the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah.
So if they flush the season, man, people are going to go bananas.
Especially the NFL.
Yeah.
So, okay, Joe Carney, Indy's local flavor on Anchor.
Yep. And iTunes. And, your opinions are great. Just because I say, just because we may disagree.
Oh no, and I mean, and I'm not pulling a Jim Rome on saying some of this stuff of Reggie Miller being overrated, but there are reasonings to my thought process, and I'm just angry that I don't have a T-shirt on that says Indiana, instead of division champs or Eastern Conference champs. I wanted a shirt that had the damn trophy on it.
I have a hat that says division champs.
I don't want that, man. I don't want that. I don't want that. It's kind of like putting a banner up that 2 years ago they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers one game in the playoffs. You don't put a banner up because of that. Joe Carney, thank you so much, everybody. We're going to call it the Dimwits unless you come up with something else. And we're going to try to do this on Friday nights on a regular basis, if not on Sundays. But we will share it through social media to let you guys know. Joe Carney, thanks again.
Thanks for having me, Billy. Have a good one.